This might be a little bit TMI, but... Hello again, team. It's Jess or JashiiCorrin, and welcome back for my week 41 plan with me. Along with being one of my regular plan with me videos, this is also the third day of my month with planning with me series. So if you haven't checked out days 1 or 2, there is a card in the top corner to the playlist for those. For today's video, I'm going to start by setting up for next week, and then I'm going to go in and do the tracking and crossing off my tasks, and all of that other stuff that I usually do as part of the month of planning with me series. As per usual, any of the equipment I use in today's setup is linked in the description box below. And before we get into setting that one up, we're just going to have a look at how this week is going. So as you'll remember from my last weekly plan with me, I was going with this really simple one-page layout because at the moment I'm on school holidays. I don't really need a lot of space. So far so good with this one. I am enjoying the simplicity, and given the amount of space I still have on my running to-do list here, I'm not really feeling pinched for space at all. For the week coming, I'm going to have another one-page setup, and although I haven't gotten penciled anything in just yet, I do have a rough idea of what I want to put on paper. Because I want to tie the 2 pages together, I am going to continue with the washi tape at the top and the bottom on this page as well. The layout for today, as per last week, is fairly straightforward and simplistic, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with explaining what I'm doing, because you can kind of see what I'm doing. In terms of the questions that I had on last week's plan with me though, our first one comes from Butterfly Nez, who asked, question, some people like to section off their events, tasks and whatnot, and then leave half-empty spreads. My bujo usually contains memories, notes, and such, on top of the aforementioned things. I use a filofax, however. Is there still a way to do those folded spreads or Dutch doors? Well, the short answer would be yes. I assume there probably is. I don't have a lot of experience using a filofax, so it's kind of hard for me to say. My favourite type of Dutch door is the one where you just fold the edge of the page into the centre of your journal. So I feel like that one would certainly be doable in a filofax. Though in doing that one, you wouldn't fold it all the way to the middle because it would get in the way of your rings. You certainly could cut the pages of the filofax in half and have a top half or bottom half Dutch door. But which one you actually end up going for really depends on your own personal style. It might be something that just needs a little bit of experimentation, but I do think that you could do it. Our second question came from Michelle, who asked, any thoughts about doing an update on your collections journal? Did you scrap and add as planned? I am certainly going to be doing an update on my collections bullet journal, mostly because this month one of my focuses is going to be making a new collection each week. So as part of the 1 month in my bullet journal series, making some collection pages are probably going to be some of my tidbits. Something a little bit different to what I normally do, but I am interested to see how it turns out. What I'm going to do now is just go in with my Faber-Castell Pitt artist pen in the S size and write down all of the events that I know I have coming up next week. Not that there really are very many of them. Now as I have my weekly set up, it's on to the regular happenings of the month of planning with me series. So to start with, I can cross off that Mum has gone home. And I did take her to the airport. I know it's only day 3, but you may have noticed that the videos that I've been uploading haven't really been at a regular time slot, and this has mostly been because my mum's been over. When she's here, I want to spend as much time with her as possible, so I'm not going to take time out of the middle of the day to sit down and record anything. But now she's gone back to Australia, and at least for the rest of my holidays, these videos are going to be filmed a little bit earlier. Then when I go back to school, they're probably going to be going back to the late afternoon slot. Well, at least in terms of filming. Then there's the editing and the uploading, so, Anyway, nothing to check off here just yet, haven't gotten a lot done today, but I do want to add a task, which is to clean my desk. A couple of you guys have requested a desk tour, and I'm certainly going to include that as one of our tidbits for this month. But before we do that, I'd really like to clean my desk up, because this is what it looks like at the moment. Flipping back to my monthly pages though, in yesterday's video I forgot to check in with my monthly log, so I can tick off that Bujo Wednesday did happen. And then today I can also tick off that Mum has left. Tomorrow I've got my shopping day planned with Vogel, so I need to put that in. Moving on to the trackers. So, habit tracker. Yesterday, I did reply to Instagram comments. I did fill in my bullet journal on camera. I did take my evening medication, and I was just in bed by 10. Just. I think as part of that, I'm actually going to have to set an alarm on my phone so that I make sure to get into bed at the right time. So I'm going to flip back and put that on today's to-do list. Otherwise, I just end up overshooting the mark. It'll end up being like 9:58 and it's like this mad dash to get to bed just so I can fill in my tracker. But hey, at least it is reminding me to get to bed earlier. What else? So, wasn't really productive yesterday. So that one can be orange. And then in terms of this morning, I did have my morning medication. But there's not a lot else to fill in just yet because the day's kind of only just getting started. For my steps tracker, I did actually go and check on my Fitbit. What? Sorry, I totally distracted myself by drawing on myself. I did go check on my Fitbit what my step total was for Tuesday and Wednesday, so I can put those in now. I get a lot of questions about how this one works. So the number at the top just represents how many thousands of steps I've done, so each centimeter is 1,000 steps. So for Tuesday, where I did 3,867 steps, so I essentially just take that number and divide it by 1,000 to figure out how many centimeters I need. So 3,867 divided by 1,000 gives me 3.867, so roughly 3.8. So from my baseline, I measure up 3.8 centimeters, and that's where I'm going to be drawing my line. For Wednesday, I did 4,667, so again, divided by 1,000 gives me 4.667, so 4.6. I think for this month, because I'm just doing colored blocks, I might also put in the numbers. And now to color those in. While on my habit tracker, I have pink being for something was completed and orange being for something wasn't. For my steps tracker, I'm just going to alternate between those two colors. Really, this is just for decorative purposes, and I like both of the colors together, so I want them both on my tracker. Of course, another way you could use colors on a tracker like this is coloring in every day where you met a certain step goal in one color, and every day that you didn't meet that step goal in another. On to my next one, we have the social media scheduler. So yesterday I did post my October monthly log. And because I've now set up my weekly for next week, my new weekly spread for Sunday is ready to be photographed. In terms of YouTube, obviously I posted a video yesterday, so those ones are all finished. And because I'm filming Thursday's video at the moment, I can probably check off that that one's ready to go. And as Butterfly Nez said in their comment, I can also check off the filming part because, well, I'm doing it right now, so obviously by the time you guys saw this, it's done. Going with that whole idea of colours meaning things and stuff, on my social media trackers, pink does mean something got done, and I'm going to reserve orange for if I don't do something. On to my challenge page. So I have written in my challenge now. Thank you for all of your suggestions. I did get around to reading them. I think I'm going to have to make a collection of all of you guys' ideas because obviously I can't do all of them in 1 month, but it would be nice to keep them on record. So my monthly challenge for money is going to be spending less than $40 a day, whereas my health challenge is getting in my active minutes, and these are the ones that are recorded on my Fitbit. For both of these ones, again, orange is going to mean it didn't get done, and pink is going to mean it did. So day 1, because I bought my planter box, I already know that one's going to be orange. For day 2, I am not quite sure yet. I am doing my budgeting later this afternoon, so hopefully I'll be able to fill it in after that, but right now, not too sure. Should probably also add budgeting to my to-do list, because I don't think that's on there. Yeah, it's not. Alrighty. Budgeting. Normally we like to do our budgeting on Mondays, but because my mum was over and wanted to spend time with her, it did not get done. Well, I mean, We were going to do it on Tuesday because she was out for dinner, but by the time that we actually got around to sorting ourselves out, again, didn't get done. Also, because I'm talking, I've now written bood instead of budg, but I'm just gonna leave it as buddit, because buddit means budget, right? As I've mentioned before, sometimes fixing a mistake draws more attention to it than just leaving it, and I know what buddit means, so it's fine. In terms of active minutes, haven't done that for either of the first 2 days of the month, so orange for those. I mean, probably doesn't help that I only decided on it, like, this morning, but hopefully today I can get my active minutes in and we can see some pink on here tomorrow. For my word of the day, it's like literally not even midday yet, so I'm going to leave it until tomorrow, but I might as well colour the box in now because it's going to be pink. For these ones, it's just alternating colours. It's not any kind of specific meaning. Technically speaking, I could have used this as a mood tracker as well and done like certain colours or patterns to represent certain moods, but didn't think that far ahead, so we're just going with alternating coloured blocks. Scream. And my meal log, so obviously I've had dinner from last night, I've had breakfast this morning, haven't had any of the other meals, but I will fill those in. Just as a couple final little things to fill in, and this might be a little bit TMI, but my period did start today, so I do want to make sure I go and record that on my period tracker, which I call my Tom tracker, or like time of month. But if we flip back to that, here we go. So obviously I've been filling in the dates as I go, so we'll go and fill in the ones I haven't filled in first. So for this tracker, I just have the brown zigzag pattern anytime I do have my period, and the regular days of the month with their initial when I don't. So because it's October 3rd and it started today, I can fill in that one. Of course, there is the assumption that that's going to continue, but not filling that in yet because we're not up to those days yet. Also, something I filled in were the challenges for this month. So we've got spending less than $40 a day and getting my active minutes. I can also cross off that I did the challenges of 7,000 steps and homemade lunch. Notably, the homemade lunch one was a lot more successful than the 7,000 steps a day, but technically did partake in them, so I'm going to go cross those ones off as well. For my challenge page, I rule these lines just because they're a little bit longer and I want them to look consistent and neat. And in terms of why I have homemade lunch under August rather than September, when it was a September challenge, is because I did originally intend for it to be in August, but because August was also the month of Burger Welly, or Welly on a Plate, I decided to push it out. Thank you for watching, team. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!